Y'all, we're gonna do an old school versus new school brisket throwdown. Y'all wanna stick around for this one. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Cooking with CJ. I'm CJ. Welcome to my backyard. So glad you're here. You guys heard me right at the beginning. We're doing a brisket throwdown. We're doing old school, my Weber Kettle. Then we're making it versus new school, my Ninja Woodfire Grill. Now, I've done a couple throwdowns with the Ninja Woodfire. We did it versus a normal pellet grill, right? We did it against itself with my recipe versus Ninjas, right? Figured, let's take this one back a little bit and use a Weber Kettle versus my Woodfire, okay? Now, when people ask me what pit they should get, I always tell them start off with your Weber Kettle, all right? You can grill on it, you can smoke on it, charcoal, wood, the whole bit, but we're gonna see if this new Woodfire kind of changes my mind on that, all right? We're going to do 2 briskets. They're about the same size. They're about 10 pounds each, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. They're choice briskets, they're nothing fancy. I do my normal backyard trim on both of them. I tried to keep the trim about as even as possible, so we're getting the kind of the same weights on there. Do it as aerodynamic as possible. I cut off any kind of fat and silver skin that's just not gonna render down. This came with a label on it that says the decal fat was removed, but really there was a big chunk of it thrown through there. So we left that pretty big chunk in there, okay? But I got them as cleaned up as possible. I usually take all the fat cap off of the point end of the brisket. So if you guys don't know, the Packer brisket is 2 muscles. We have the point and the flat, okay? The flat is the leaner meat, the point is the fattier meat, okay? So I usually take the fat cap off of the point, right? Because there's already fat kind of running through it. This way we get some nice, good bark on there. After I got them both trimmed up, I went ahead and seasoned them up. Now, I already had one in a pan, so we seasoned that one up in that pan. And then over by the sink, we just had a little piece of disposable cutting board. So we just seasoned that up over there. And then we just put them in one pan to let it rest while I got the grills fired up, okay? The rub I'm using is Hussey's Heffer Dust. All right, my guy Matt Hussey over at the Hungry Hussey. I'll put a link down below to his YouTube channel and to his rub, or to his website. Using that, it's Heffer Dust. It's perfect for the briskets, all right? So we got those seasoned up, they're chilling, and now we gotta prepare our grills. It's 2 different, very different things. The ease of the wood fire is pretty freaking cool. All I did was just throw some pellets in. Now these pellets I'm using are post oak pellets, okay? I wanted it, as close to what I'm trying to do on the Weber Kettle, but we're gonna do 2 cycles of pellets, all right? So we're gonna let the first one burn out. It'll take about 45 minutes to an hour. And then we're gonna put another load of pellets in. And when we do that, we push that wood fire button for a few seconds, and then it triggers that ignition process of those pellets again. So we'll get a double load of smoke on the brisket and the wood fire. And then for the Weber Kettle, that took a little bit of time to set up, right? You gotta clean it out, got all the ash out of there. I'm using my SlowNSear in there. So what this helps you do is lets you burn a slow amount of charcoal at a slower rate. You're not lighting the whole batch of charcoal on there, starting at one end, and then you're firing through, okay? Using some whiskey barrel chunks of wood. They're from Jealous Devil. They're the ones I had handy at the moment, so that's what we're going with. So we got oak pellets in the wood fire, and we're using whiskey barrel wood in the kettle. Cool. We're going to set the wood fire temperature at the smoke setting for 275. I'm gonna bump up the timing to 6 hours. You don't know exactly how long it's gonna take. On each of the briskets, I have my Temp Spike instant read thermometers in there. Okay, these are Bluetooth thermometers that I can track on my app on my phone, but I'll be able to see the temperatures cooking all the way through. I'm stuck in the thickest part of each brisket. We're gonna get it on. Fat cap up on both of them. Heat's coming from the top basically on both of them, so we want that fat cap up on top for protecting that meat. Once those briskets get the color I want, a nice dark mahogany color, and they're hitting about 170-ish, could be a little bit less, a little bit more, and I'll put the Celsius, right here too. Once those hit there, then we'll take them off. We're gonna wrap them in tin foil. Usually when I'm using the kettle or any of my other pits, I wrap my briskets in butcher paper, but I'm gonna stick with tinfoil since we're using the wood fire, and that's how I do my briskets in the wood fire. Okay, we're using tinfoil wrap, we're using a little beef consomme. I'm gonna pour some of that into a spray bottle with a little bit of water and a little Worcestershire sauce, just to dilute it down. We'll use that as a spritzing mix to make sure our briskets aren't drying out. So once we check them every half hour, hour or so, we'll spray them down with that spritz. Cool. Pretty simple, but it's gonna take a long time. By the time we finish this up, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be dark and we're gonna be in the house. The wood fire is gonna finish quicker than the brisket on the kettle, so we'll just let it rest. I'm gonna try to keep my kettle running about 275, but there will be fluctuations, you know, probably up to 300. So we're gonna try to keep them the same, but we're using 2 different pits, so there's gonna be a lot of variables, okay? And then at the end, I'm gonna slice them up. I'm gonna try them. I don't know if anybody will be here to help me try them. I'll give you an honest assessment. I mean, they're both my grills, so I'm not really stressing about it. Guys, if you wanna get anything in the videos, like the wood fire or the kettle or, you know, the instant read thermometers, any of that crap, all gonna be down below in the video description. Click on it. Oh, and also I have a Woodfire E-Cookbook, so if you wanna click on that, it's down there. It's only $5 to download. I think I got all the YouTube crap out of the way. Oh, hit the thumbs up, like, share, all that stuff. All right, good. All right, a lot of talking, but I felt like I had to explain where we need to be, okay? Hope you guys stick around to the end and see how this turns out. But let's go ahead and get these briskets on. What do you say? All right, team, so we got our charcoal going over here. We used Fire Cups starter. So we just light that thing and it starts the coals. From once we put the brisket on and put the lid on, fire will die down and we'll start working on the smoking process. This one is real easy. We got the pellets in already. We're gonna turn it to the smoker setting. We're gonna do the temp 275, and then we're gonna take this time up to 6 hours. Already got the wood fire gonna fire up. And let's go through the ignition process and then we'll throw the briskets on. Okay, ignition process is done. Woo, smoky, smoky. All right, let's get this brisket on. It's gonna be a tight squeeze in here. We're gonna squeeze it up a little bit so it fits. Get this other brisket on. We have a little drip pan underneath just to catch any of the rendered fat, but we're good to go. Temp spikes in. Let's get these bad boys going. What do you say? Got the kettle lid on. Got the vents open about halfway on the bottom too. The smoke's gonna come over here, roll over and out this vent, right? So just gonna let that one go. Then over here, brisket's in, shut her down, baby. All right, we'll see you in an hour or two just to take a look. Other than that, we're chilling. Come on back. And just so you guys can see, the temps are about the same. About 275 on the kettle. All right, team, we're about 45 minutes in on the briskets. We're getting a little color up on the top, but I'm gonna give it a little spritz so it stays moist in there. It's a little dried out on the edge right here. So again, a little spritz of the mix we made. Okay. I'm gonna spray a little bit on the grill grate just so it keeps it moist in there. 45 minutes into the kettle brisket. Obviously not in the same position. There's a lot more concentrated heat on that wood fire, but we got some good smoke rolling in there. All right, we'll check it out in another hour. A little over 2 hours in. Let's take a look at this giant hunk of beef right here. We are temping out at 170, so I think it's about time we pull this in and get it wrapped. Let's check on the other brisket. Not quite as dark, but we still got some time going on that. This one's only temping out about 117. So like I said, the kettle one's gonna go a little bit longer than the wood fire brisket. Right, let's get this brisket wrapped up, take it off the grill. I'm gonna take the temp spike out. Ooh, that's hot. Set that aside. I'm gonna spritz this down with our mix. Make sure we got plenty in the wrapping. Just get this wrapped up as tight as we can. Have another piece of foil on here. Get it nice and tight. Get this temp spike back in. We'll go ahead and get it back in the grill. Put the temp spike in this way. Move the temp spike over so it doesn't hit the fan. So we got the wood fire brisket wrapped. Now, like I said at the beginning, the wood fire brisket is going to cook faster. A more combined, condensed heating vessel, right? So it'll be done sooner. It'll have time to rest sooner. It just is what it is. We're using 2 different kind of barbecue pits here, so the kettle's gonna take a lot longer, okay? So just is what it is. We got all day. It's a beautiful day out here in Southern California. Guys, what I did not picture or show on film is I added a second batch of pellets to the brisket on the wood fire. Got shiny object, thought I hit the camera, thought I hit the record button. I didn't. So all you do, like I said before, pour your pellets in, press and hold that wood fire button until you see it go ready for the ignition process again, okay? So that was done. So we did 2 rounds of pellets on the wood fire, okay? We got plenty of smoke on that. We got plenty of smoke on the kettle brisket, cooking at the same temps, just in a lot different spaces, okay? A wood fire should be done probably in a couple hours. The kettle one will probably be a lot longer. I'm left to do, but let's go get ourselves an adult beverage and enjoy the beautiful day. Stick around. Just wanted to give you a little peek at the kettle brisket. It is still temping out 145. I've given it a little spritz. It's just chilling. The wood fire brisket's temping out over 200, so we're gonna be pulling it pretty soon, but this still has a ways to go. We're just over 4.5 hours on this thing. We're gonna do a little, probe check. It's 207. All right, and the thick part is going in like butter. Over 200 right there. I think it's time we pull this and just let it rest. We're gonna go ahead and put this in the oven and just let it rest in there. And we'll wait for that kettle to catch up. All right, we're temping out at 170-ish. Time to pull it, wrap it, and get it back on. It's out of the way. I'm gonna boat this up just a little bit and give it a spray down with the spritz. Put the rest of the consomme out here just in case I needed it, but the spritz we're gonna use in here is gonna be good enough. Grab this extra long sheet of tin foil. It's not my prettiest work, but it'll do. Get the temp spike back in there and back on the grill. The kettle's still running about 275 to 250, give or take. I put some coals in, no more wood though. We're just gonna let it chill out in there until it finishes up. It'll probably be dark, but that's okay. My temp spike says we're about 205, 206. Time to start checking some of the probe tenderness. It's going in like butter. We're over 200. Feeling pretty good. All right, let's get this bad boy out. We're gonna let it rest for at least an hour. We'll come on back. All right, y'all, as you can see, it's much later. Just told you we're gonna take off the kettle brisket. So we started the cooks at 10 a.m.-ish. It is now 7:23, okay? So the wood fire brisket was done in about 4.5 hours. The kettle brisket, this is more like 9.5 hours, okay? So 1 point in favor of the wood fire grill. Got that brisket quick. It's just been chilling, just been resting this whole time. Had it in a warm oven that was set to like 175. Just to let it chill out in there and not lose some of that temperature, okay? This is gonna rest for about an hour or so, maybe a little bit longer, and then that's it. All right, come on back and we'll slice into these. Y'all, we're in the house. It's 8 something. We've given it about an hour to rest. I usually like to give my briskets a little bit more time, but your boy needs to get this edited so you can watch it tomorrow. I don't wanna be up all night, so hopefully we got a decent sample size here. I'm gonna bring out both the briskets, slice them both up real quick, and then we'll try them. And that's it. Nothing terribly scientific, but we'll go over all that when we're done slicing this up, all right? Let's get down here and start cutting up these briskets. All right, y'all, briskets are on the cutting board. Let's take a look. The one on the left is the wood fire brisket. The one on the right here is the Weber Kettle. Got some great color on both of them. This left one here doesn't have much of a point. You can see it, but I'm sure it'll be great. All right, let's do a little slicing and dicing. All right, let's start with the wood fire brisket first. Start cutting some of the flat right here. Try to get pretty thin pieces out of the flat. Interesting sounds coming out of this as I slice it up. All right, let's take a look. Grab a slice out of the middle here. Got some great bend right there. Holds up on its own. Pretty moist. Right, that's the name of the game. We'll give it the old pull test. It's a bit of a tug, but not bad. Not bad at all. All right, let's give it a turn. Let's see how we're doing. So we got the juice. We got the juice. Nice and juicy. Obviously a large fat cap running through there. We got some great bark going on the side here. So this is the Woodfire brisket. Juicy as can be. You guys can see it. I hate squeezing the meat, but that Woodfire turned out all right. And we'll chop into the Weber Kettle one. We want to do the same thing, cut thin slices out. With the Kettle brisket, we're gonna have a great smoke ring. Woodfire brisket had a lot longer to rest. Like I said, I couldn't wait much longer. The Kettle brisket is still very hot. Let's go ahead, we already started getting into that point a little bit. All right, same. Got a great bend on it. So we got a little bit of the point on there, but it's nice and juicy. I like it. Holds up on its own. Again, let's give it the old pull test. That is very hot. Ow, shit. This one is a bit more tender. Let's turn this around. We'll go ahead and get into this point. Again, this one didn't have much of a point either. All right, guys, we got the juices flowing. Again, I don't want to squeeze my briskets, but we're looking good. Got a nice smoke ring, but as we've talked about in the past, that doesn't really mean anything. All right, let's give it a try. Guys, what can I say? We got them sliced up, did the pull test, did the bend test, all that tests. They're both juicy as can be. I'm gonna start off with the point on the Woodfire grill. So cheers, y'all. All right. Yeah, it's really good. All right, get that smoke flavor. The seasoning is amazing on there. The fact that we kept it moist by spritzing it with that mix of water, beef broth, and Worcestershire sauce, really good. Very juicy, very fatty. That's the best part about that point cut. Next up, we got a little piece of the Weber Kettle brisket. Everybody, I can't call it. The Weber Kettle brisket. Got a nice smoke on there. I get a little bit of that charcoal too, right? I don't think it's any more tender or juicy than the Woodfire. They're pretty dang comparable. I tried to keep the temperatures the same. Obviously the Weber Kettle took a long time, but that's it. That's, a little bit of a longer process, not using that condensed space of that Woodfire grill, right? It's intense heat, but if you treat it right, you get yourself a beautiful brisket, all right? So I'm not gonna call a winner on this one. Guys, the Weber Kettle is the standard. It's what I've been using since I was 19 years old, okay? Burning stuff on it since I was 19 years old. Got better at it, don't get me wrong, but old school versus new school, they came out together. They worked out fine. Guys, get yourself one of these Woodfire grills if you want to save a little bit of time on your brisket, your pulled pork, all that stuff. It cooks it so much faster than anything else, okay? Now, I'm trying to keep doing these throwdowns, these verses. So if you guys got any ideas of what you want me to put the Woodfire against, or what to cook against each other on, I have two Woodfires, so I can do two at the same time. Throw the ideas down in the comments for me, okay? I think y'all like these series, so I'm gonna, keep sprinkling them in there a little bit, right? Like I said before, you guys want anything in these videos, the Woodfire, the Weber Kettle, the Temp spike thermometer, the lightning thermometer, the instant read I was using for to check for probe tenderness. All those links are all down below. Guys, I just noticed there's a new feature too. I think I knew about it before, but it kind of popped up again. There's a thing called Super Thanks. So it's a way of giving a tip, I guess. So if you want to give a tip to your boy, instead of like look both ways before crossing the street or don't eat yellow snow, hit that thing, hit that Super Thanks, and I will thank you. If you guys want to become a show producer, people who like their brisket any way they can get it, whether it's in the Woodfire or that Weber Kettle, hit that join button right next to the subscribe button. which you should have already hit by now. But other than that, guys, we are done. It's a long ass day, but we are finished. Tomorrow, Mother's Day. All the mothers out there, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Mother's Day. I hope you guys get spoiled. I'm missing my mama who's up in heaven. All right. So, you know, it's a tougher day for your boy, but you know, I love all the moms in my life, especially my wife, all the pseudo moms out there that have taken care of me, put me under their wing since my mom passed. So I hope you guys have a great, great day. I hope you all have a wonderful week. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks for cooking with CJ. Take care.